Yo, yo, yo. Oh boy, do I have a treat for you guys today. You joined me at the very start. At the very start of my first cross-country race in 25 years, since I was at primary school. And you are gonna learn everything what not to do. So we are in the Surrey League cross country, running with Striders of Croydon. And this is Hurst Green. It's an 8-kilometre track on some pretty slippy mud. Now this is extremely muddy for me, but I've been told that as far as cross country goes, this is pretty easy going. It's an 8-kilometre track, 7.8 I think in the end. And I have set off pretty quick. Just for some context, my 5k pace is about 4 minutes per kilometre. This is a longer course than that, it's about 8 kilometres. And it's also in mud with bits of hills. I'm not in my little super shoes. So some will say I may have set off a little bit fast. But this was bloody exciting, and when you've got a crowd of people around you, you just want to race. I was told as well that there's a choke point up ahead that you do want to stay out a little bit more towards the front. But I think I managed to hold this pace for, well, not the entire race, let's say that. I'm pretty competitive for the first few kilometres. Trying to squeeze through here in the little gap. I know that the bridge is coming up, which is definitely a choke point, so I didn't want to get stuck behind anyone. Got my average pace up in the top left. It has started to slow down just a little bit. Current pace is around 4 minutes, but again, that is far, far too fast. So the way that this works is each club will have quite a few runners, and your top 10 runners will score points for your club. And it's basically the sum of all of your positions, so you want that position to be as low as possible. My goal was maybe to try and get in the top 10 of my club, but there are some really speedy people, and I think already I'm probably in about 13th in my club. So I was just trying to hold on to these two people ahead of me. You can just see the Striders top, the yellow and green. There's about 10 people ahead of me now, and then one just comes by now. So I was feeling pretty good now. The thing is, I know all of these people are much quicker than me from club runs and stuff. But I just thought, oh, go on, I'll try and stick with them. I'm feeling good, see if I can come in the top 10. Spoiler alert, I absolutely do not manage that, but I do try to stick with them as long as I can. It's quite nice as well to be running side by side with a clubmate like this. You just kind of protect each other a little bit. I did notice coming onto this track that people were slowing down a bit, and then just as I say that, I barrel into my teammate from my club, which was very silly. So this was nice. Got a bit of a spurt in. I think what I was thinking was a lot of people were in spikes and I was just in normal trail shoes, so I think those in spikes it was maybe just a little bit uncomfortable on this harder surface. And at this point I'd looked at my heart rate and it was really low and I was feeling good, but I should have been paying a bit more attention to the pace and realised that this is not sustainable at all. Once we get back on the mud, I think I finally look at my watch and see that first kilometre was well under 4 minutes in the mud, in the crowds with the weaving. Alarm bells should be going off. And there's a guy that I bumped into earlier. I'm sorry mate, I did apologise to him after the race. I think I just got a little bit unaware of where I was and the space around me and just boshed into him, but he was very friendly with me after the race. So my plan now is to maybe just try and hang on to him and not lose too many spots. But it's getting tough up this little hill, especially in the mud. You just don't get the purchase, and it gets a lot muddier later on in the race as well.
Go on, Matt.
I see another strider pushing on by me, so I cheer him on. I think it was around here, but I think there might be something wrong with my heart rate. I am struggling much more than this, and I do realise later on that my heart rate on my watch does spike up again to about 180, so I think it just wasn't recording my heart rate correctly here. So the video from now onwards, it's really just me getting overtaken by probably 100 people and just trying desperately to hold on. I think at this point I realise that the two strides ahead of me are pulling away from me quite a bit. So in my head I was thinking, okay, I'll stay with them, try and keep them in my view. But if I am dropping back, then the next strider who comes along, I'll try and stick with them as well. I think I managed to keep this pace up for the next 500 metres or so, but people are really starting to stream by me now. So far the mud hasn't been so bad, but there are a few sections like this which were pretty crazy. I was really struggling, and again I looked at my heart rate around here, it's like 140, 150, and I think I realised then that my heart rate isn't tracking correctly. And my plan really at this point was every person who overtook me, and there were a lot of people overtaking me, just try and hold on as long as I can. Maybe even overtake one or two. But that plan very quickly goes out the window as a couple people come flying by me, and I've just got no chance of keeping up with them. I am still going too fast for me, up to about 2 kilometres at around my 5k pace in this mud where it's so tricky. But I thought I'll try and take advantage of this little downhill, but that squelching mud and that heavy breathing, that's usually towards the end of the race for me, so realise I am in for some trouble here. And it's those gaps where I know I've overcooked it. I'm going to need to slow. Oh no, he's going to overtake some people. I don't know what was going through my head, if I was being stubborn, trusting my watch too much rather than how I was feeling. But there, another gas furrow, and I really should be slowing down at this point.
Well on guys, coming to short
And those guys that I surged back now overtake me. You can see how slippy it is. This guy ahead of me just had a little slide. And there's Blue Top from earlier that I was really trying to keep up with, again just getting away from me now. I was hoping on this harder ground with my trail shoes versus the spikes would be a little bit of a benefit for me. But I nearly fall there. I think the guy ahead of me did too. It was incredibly slippy through this little narrow bit, and everyone is just streaming by me. This is not the position you want to be in. 2 kilometres into a 8 kilometre race. So it's tough here. I had lost a bit of motivation. I knew I wasn't going to be in the top 10, but I still wanted to put in a good effort. I thought, okay, next strider that comes along, I'll slow down a little bit until they catch me up. and then I'll try and go with them. Little did I know that the strider who comes along was Simon, who is incredibly fast. He's so much quicker than me, and I tried to keep up with him here just for as long as I could, but that was when I really knew I had overcooked these first 3 kilometres. There is absolutely no chance that I could keep up with him. I just tried to keep him in my sights for as long as I could, but that didn't last very long, and you can see my pace drop into little surge, and then back down to 5 minutes. So what's next? I'll just try and keep him in my sights. I've definitely tried to pick up the pace a little bit, but I am struggling up this hill. So in my head I'm like, okay, the next strider that comes along, I'll stick with them for as long as I can. See what I can do. And another strider does catch me up and steam ahead. He's just ahead of us now, the tall guy in the yellow and green. And it's Matt, who I know from Run Club, again, is just much quicker than me. So I'm thinking I'm halfway through the race. People I know who are much quicker than me are overtaking me and steaming away. I've overcooked this massively. Let's just try and hold on as long as I can. Push as hard as I can. But this is where I really start slowing down even more, and I realise here that my watch had finally managed to sort itself out with its heart rate as well. It's at around 185, so my max heart rate is probably around 195, just over. So I've probably been at 180 plus for the entire race. Nice couple of striders who weren't running, giving a bit of a cheer as well. So cutting to 5 kilometres in, this was a really muddy section, so I just put my camera on, and just as we went round this corner, a guy who I usually run with on the rep sessions rocked up, and I was like, we push each other on these Tuesdays. He's about the same as me. There'll be days where he's quicker than me and I'm desperately trying to hang on, and a day where I'm feeling good and pushing him to his limit, and I thought, right, let's stick with him for as long as I can. I wasn't sure if I could keep up this pace. He's already below 4-minute pace, and for another 2.5 kilometres that was going to be very tricky. I've got the pain gas, heart rate is at 186, I am really near my limit here. This was as much a mental battle as it was a physical one. I know I'm nearly redlining here, but I'm just gonna hold on as long as I can, dropping back into the low 4-minute paces. Do not let him get away from me. And I know we are coming up to that very muddy, slippy section just ahead of us. He has a little stumble. I can't exaggerate how difficult it is to run in this mud. Part of you is a bit worried about slipping. Part of you pushes off and you just don't move as much as you would on the road. But alas, 600 metres later, you can just about see him in the distance. I really want to keep him in my eye line. I'm in the low 4-minute paces, but still being overtaken here. Trying to save something for this last mile of the race. But my hopes and dreams of keeping up with him for the final mile very quickly fading away. We are just getting to the final kilometre. Is there anything left in the tank? I thought, right, I've had enough people overtaking me. Let's see if I can overtake anyone. Oh yes, yes I can. And I might die doing it, but I will overtake somebody. And I've got my eyes set on White Vest ahead of us. it's not getting further away from me. I do feel like I picked up the pace quite a lot here. We have about 400 metres to go. Can I get in any final overtakes? Let's see. I'm not sure if this overtake counts, but I'll take it. I've had 100 people overtake me. I wanted to get one back.
Well done, Kevin. Well done, well done.
300 metres to go. Trying to dip below those 4-minute paces. I can hear someone getting very close behind me, so try and dig deep here. And I will let this last 200 metres play out as I fight till the end. Keep an eye on that pace. I don't have a usual kick that I do, but I'm doing my best here. That guy absolutely flying past me, even on a slight uphill.
Well done. Keep moving down the funnel, please. Yes, moving through, guys. Keep walking.
And we have made it. The group of Striders on the right giving me a nice round of applause as I come in and a bit of congratulations, but I was absolutely dying here. Just saying well done to Josh here. I think I tried to mumble some words to him about trying to keep up with him, but I wasn't making much sense here until I managed to catch my breath again. So there you have it. I ended up coming 105th. I think I ended up coming about 15th or 16th within my club, so next I will do my best to try and break 100, and maybe one day I'll come in the top 10 and count towards my team goals. So there you go. What not to do for your first cross-country race is set off far too fast. Get your elbows out in the crowds at the start and then just have all of those people overtake you over the next 5-6 kilometres. But it was an awful lot of fun, and from what I've been told, there's going to be some nice muddy courses coming up throughout the rest of the season, so there'll be more of these videos to come, I'm sure. Alright, cheers. See you next time. Peace. GG.